Hello friends, this is Scott back at Project Garden number 1. It is now August 6th and it is smoggy, foggy, smoky. All the fires in the west have created an air condition in Utah that you can pretty much cut it with a knife. It smells like you're right by a campfire. So we're just going to kind of take it easy today a little bit. We're going to take a little look at the garden progress, check things out, how things are going, and we're going to harvest a few crops today. We're in full production. There's a lot going on. I was going to dig some potatoes today, but I see that they're actively flowering, so I think I'm going to wait another week or two before I pull any more potatoes. I've done a couple test digs, and they've just been, small to medium at this point. But I'm going to show you now what the garden's looking like as a kind of a garden, Project Garden update for August. Well, you can easily see that I've not done much pruning, if any, on the tomatoes. We've got tons of tomatoes on the vine. We've had a few ripe ones, probably 8 or 9, but we've got a lot of tomatoes on here. I just let them go. I've not been able to get over here enough to keep things pruned, so I'm just kind of let nature take its course. Here I'm picking a nice ripe one. You get an idea. Beautiful. No blossom end rot, just a perfect tomato. But as you scroll through here, it's a little hard to see because everything's green, but there's lots of tomatoes in here. And we're going to have a bumper crop. It's just going to take another week or two, and then we'll be overrun with tomatoes. We do have a lot of black cherry tomatoes, and I'm just going to show you some here. I'll pick a couple of them. I'm not going to pick too many today. I'll leave them for the homeowner. But they're really sweet. They're tasty tomatoes. They're not my favorite cherry tomato, but they are tasty. We have 2 pretty large zucchini plants in this garden, and the first one I've been picking quite a bit from. All we have on it today is one small one, it looks like, that's going to be ready here in a few days. And we'll show you the other one here. It's on the other side of the garden. But the plant is very healthy. It likes it right next to the corn. And as we speak of corn, you see all the tassels. I was a little worried about the height of my corn early in the season, but I'm 6'3", and the corn is probably, a lot of it's close to 7 feet tall. So it's doing okay. And who's hiding in the corn? There's Mr. Lincoln. He's here taking a little bit of shade break. It's still hot, and it's, again, smoky, and he's not liking it too much today. But the ears are forming nicely. It's going to be a little while before they're all fully formed, but they're good sized, and we're hoping for the pollination being good. So we'll see how it all goes down. But I'm happy with the corn. I'm happy to be able to grow corn. I did not have space in my home garden, so it's nice to have a little plot here. It's not a huge plot, but it's nice to have. Just when you have corn in the garden, it really feels like you have a garden. And I've been missing that. So taking a sweep around, looking from the other side, kind of a corner shot, looking at some more ears. This is the shorter garden. It gets a little bit more shade, a little less water. So I'm not sure how these ears are going to do. Now here's the other big zucchini plant. And I'm going to dig through here and see what we got in here. And again, I just picked about 3 or 4 days ago, so I took a bunch of them out of here, but let's see what we got. Oh, there's one big one and one that's the perfect size to eat right now, but I'll leave that one for the homeowner. I'll take this one over to my mother's for zucchini bread. She'll enjoy that. Hopefully she'll let me in the house with zucchini. I've been giving her quite a bit lately, so she's getting a little bit overwhelmed, I think, but she likes to make the bread. At least she says she does. Now here's cucumbers. They're spread out real nice, and as you see, we've got lots of cucumbers on the vine of all different sizes. So I'm picking a few today, and then there's some that still need a little more time. But it looks like we've got to have a lot of cucumbers for this season, and we've already had quite a few, so it's been nice. Here's a couple real nice ones. Got them before they get too big, and the seeds get too big. So these are about the perfect size to eat. And I'm going to show you these 2 here in just a second. But these will go over to Mom's too, and I'll leave some for the homeowner. He likes his cucumbers, and he likes his tomatoes. Our leeks, they started looking like little blades of grass, and they're still not very large. They've got a little bit of shade, and they're getting a little less water than necessary because the corn's grown up so high. But they're starting to form, and I think we'll get some fairly decent leeks. Here's another side look from the opposite side of the corn patch, and there's lots of ears on this side, so there's going to be there's some pretty nice ones on this side. So we're looking pretty excited. with those. And here's the Swiss chard, and these leaves are huge. As the seasons progress, there's less bug damage. They're just nice big leaves. I'm going to take some home today, and then I'll either eat them or feed them to the chickens. You're looking at our broccoli. It's looking like it should in the summer. It's pretty beat up and weathered, but it still has a few little broccolis on there that we can add to salads. And as we come down here, I do have some red cabbage that might still form some heads. Red cabbage is a lot slower growing than the green cabbage, it seems, and I think I'll get a couple nice heads. I did get a nice green head out of here late last week. Now here's some peppers. Through here, again, everything is really green and lush, so it's kind of hard to tell what's what, but as you peek in here, there's some nice little Anaheims in here. I'll leave most of these for the homeowner, but I'll take a few over to my mother's house. She's not a big pepper eater, but there's a nice one, nice good-sized Anaheim. And as we keep looking, there's some jalapeno peppers. I won't pick any today, but it's nice to have some hot peppers in the garden, and the homeowner will enjoy those. As we look through here, let's see what we have. There's another Anaheim, or another variety similar to Anaheim. I think that's a blockier green pepper. As you can see the flowers of the eggplant. As we peek in here, you'll see a couple eggplants. They're not huge, but they're nice and tasty to add to stir fries and things. There's the blossoms. And the kale's looking pretty rough. Kale kind of went to seed and it didn't do very well. Now here's the red cabbage. You can take a little bit of a close-up of a couple of them. The heads are just forming now. They're doing well in the heat, so I think we're going to have some pretty good red cabbage heads before the end of the season. Scanned over the carrots to the left there, but the beans are what we're looking at here, and they're still producing not as many, but they're still putting on quite a few. And there's some beets. You can see the red stems. Those are beets, and there's lots of good beets in there. There's some turnips up at the top that I'll show you here during the harvest. I didn't get a good look at in this part of the film. And these are the potatoes. They are flowering, and they've got pink, and some have pink and purple and white flowers, so they're kind of a pretty addition to the garden. Very dainty little flowers. But overall, the garden is growing well, and we're getting plenty of produce. Here's the pink or purplish leaf or flowers of the potatoes, and here's the white. Kind of interesting. Well, we're done harvesting today, and I dug up a few carrots, and oh my gosh, there are carrots here. I was surprised. They look really small, but there are some good ones. We have some pretty good zucchini still. Got a few tomatoes and a couple cherry tomatoes, and tons of tomatoes just haven't ripened yet. Lots of cucumbers, a few Anaheim peppers. And we have beets. There's tons of beets. And then look at these whopper turnips. These turnips are as big as softball. It's a softball turnip there. And this one's pretty close to a baseball. And then we have a bunch of Swiss chard. And then we got some green beans. So, not a bad harvest today for a quick little trip. I did a little weeding. And yeah, we got dinner. I'm going to take some over to my mother's. She likes to eat this fresh produce. My mother's cut of the harvest today. She likes to keep everything nice and clean and neat, a lot better than I do. I hope you liked today's video, and I hope it's helping to inspire you to get out in your backyard garden and get growing some nice vegetables. And you won't find any better produce than what you'll grow in your own backyard. If you'd like to continue to follow me on my journey in living my best rural life in the city, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and comment. Thank you.